What up, everyone? Let's see, was having some technical difficulties, so I couldn't. Just trying to get everything to work. Let's see here. Try to get my partner back on here. We've been trying to get on here for a minute. So just work with us, my people. Just work with us. But basically, today we are going to talk about dry vans, reefers, and or flatbeds. Talk about some specialized freight. Which one is better? Right? See if I get my partner to jump on in here, Eric. Yeah, no. We live, we live, we live,
Okay.
we live. Yeah, we is.
I forgot to go on. I forgot to go on Do Not Disturb. I might have to go out and come back in.
You can swipe it up from the top.
Let me see. Oh, there you go.
We live.
There you go.
About to talk about which trailers, man. Which dry van reefers or flatbeds, man. You know? What's your
Tricky question.
preference out there?
That's a tricky question.
Is it?
Very tricky. It's a
What
complex question.
depend? Oh man, what does that mean? I don't really know
It
what that.
depends because you have to take in the concept the driver.
Okay, let's say.
What's the driver goals in life, and all the short term and long term,
Right.
and driver health. Because you can have an open deck, let's say flatbed requires all those to be taught. A driver, not saying they can't be do it, don't come in the comments bashing me, but
Mm-hmm.
a 400-pound guy or girl might have a little more trouble navigating a flatbed and step deck than
They gonna roast
than
you. They gonna get
then
you in the
that's not,
comments. Don't be
for
talking
instance,
about them girls, man.
I used to
Them
be that
women.
guy.
Don't be talking about them women,
Listen,
man.
I used to be that guy
Talking.
that
Oh,
was
you
heavy.
said women. You said a guy or a girl.
I say guys and girls, four
Oh,
hundred
all right, all
pound
right, all
guy
right, all
or
right.
girl.
You know we
And it's
can't
like
do
I'm
that now.
right now. I'm 230. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot be a car hauler because you can't readily fit into tight places. You got to climb out the window once you get them on the trailer.
So you saying, all right. So basically, you're saying from a driver perspective. Let's roll with that then. From a driver perspective, what is your preference out of those three? When we say drive in, when we say reefer, when we say flatbed, but you know when we say flatbed, we talking about flatbed, step deck, heavy haul. You know,
Well, I'm gonna go
from a
open deck.
driver position,
I'm gonna go open deck every time, but
open
that
deck. There
comes
you
from
go.
years of experience now.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding that I'm no longer chasing miles, I'm chasing a percentage. But out of all of them depends on the seasoning because come wintertime, open decks look like they just want to give up on us. And you see dry vans running through Christmas. Well, it's Christmas time. Freight moving because people spending money in general stores.
Mm-hmm.
Construction is at its year end closeout, so nobody really trying to build nothing new. You're pretty much working on contracts at that point. So that's what they all come down to for me. I'm gonna always do open deck because I know even when it slow down, if you know what you're doing and you done built good relationships, the work gonna be there and you're gonna make more money. But it, like I said, it depends because every driver can't do it. Me personally, I can't sit at no loading dock for 4 or 5 hours. I'm gonna lose my mind. I like to be moving.
Right, 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 right. Yeah. That well, I mean, so how can I say this? When I started out from a driver perspective, I started out actually on open deck, right? I was working for my very first legal, I guess that's what you want to call it, driving position. I was let me see, what was my oh yeah, 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 it was with like a chauffeur's license. I was running a like a flatbed with a truck, like a 26 footer flatbed truck, and I was working for like this sewage pipeline whatever place.
Mm-hmm.
It was in Bridge City, Louisiana, right there in like the curve. But so I used to deliver a lot of pipe, plastic pipe, corrugated pipe, concrete pipe, fittings, manholes, uh, valves, stuff like that. I don't know. I always liked to be outside in the elements and just kind of enjoying outside.
Mm-hmm.
My second, like my first two was open deck, and then my third or second or third, I can't remember so long ago. I was, working for Concord Foods. That was the name of it then. So of course we was working box trucks and trailers. We was delivering food. Um, as over the road, I always did open deck, but that was always my preference, open deck. Now I did get a lot of relaxed time and sleep time and chill time in the drive van. The reefer was just, oh my god, the driving times, like the times on when you gotta drive. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like when you gotta drive, you literally you don't know. There's a lot of overnight. There's a lot of you rush, 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 rush. Get there, make your appointment, and then you gotta sit there for a couple of hours before you even unload. Right? Especially going to them chicken plants and stuff like that. It was crazy. So for me personally, my preference was and still is open deck freight, and that's from a driving position. You know what I mean? So that's my perspective now. I guess the next thing would be, because it's all like you said, it's a complex question. It just depends, and it depends on so many different things. Now that's, I guess, comfortability and just driving and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
like, I would ask you from a making money standpoint, um, which one is your preference, but also, and just like how long you've been,
So
um,
I started out driving 2006 with Swift. I made 26 cents a mile.
what that is, how many years that is? What we in 24? That's almost 20 years.
With, hmm I
Yeah,
I started at 26 cents a mile, and back then, $400-500 check was heaven. 8 9, you was balling.
yeah,
Now, if I get a $900 check, I'm contemplating life situations. I might want to get my kids a new father or something like that.
mm-hmm.
It's just, but it's still, even when it comes down to the money aspect, it still comes down to the driver. For
Yeah,
instance, you take an open deck driver. He can make good money. The average flatbed average, if you look up the numbers, flatbeds average at about 276 to 280 a mile. Of course, everybody's shooting for over three. I hope y'all shooting for over three. If not, y'all messing up the game.
should
But that's
be.
another conversation, another podcast. Then you have what we do, RGN. We up there in the $4 a mile, but your driver has to be on point. Cause now you're taking a driver, if he don't know nothing, and ask him, I want you to take 55,000 pounds and secure it to an unstable deck. Now,
Okay.
instead of losing a $10,000 load, you have actually lost a 250,000 pound machine, a $250,000 machine.
Yeah.
Do the driver? We didn't see instance. Do the driver want to operate these machines? I ain't doing that. I'm supposed to just pull a load. All right, drive van driver. Then you look at reefers. If you have an inexperienced driver that's barely getting his job done in his truck, do you really want to give him two motors to have to look after day in and day out? Because everybody know when that reefer motor go, your money gone. You are a heavy driver. And if you're a small company, mom and pop, 2, 3 trucks, losing a reefer motor can put you out of business.
Yeah.
Just drive vans, everybody be like, oh, that's the easy one. And it is. But it's also a dangerous one because they do a lot of tight backing. And you know how many of them put dents in people's doors and rip off bumpers? So when it come down to the money, it always going to come back to whether you're the owner, you're an investor, or you just somebody that's learning this game, a dispatcher. It all come back to the most important part, the person in that seat.
Yeah.
You get a 30-year vet that been doing driving his whole life and put him on an open deck, and he makes you no money. You get an open deck driver, put him in a drive van. A drive van driver might make him look like he don't know what he's doing when it comes to getting in and out of them alleys and doing some of them backings that us in the open deck space we just don't do. We don't back up that much. If
Right.
I got to back up, you got to call
But
somebody. What is
I
this?
mean, right, but at the same time it's like what about, you know, cuz I say it's like all about attitude and cuz when you want to do something, you want to do it and you're going to do it, you know what I mean? So it's like um yeah, some people don't know when they jump into the game like a flatbed division or open, well, I guess we would call it open deck division or whatever like that. But man, I remember when I first got in the game, I didn't know it, but I wanted to do it.
Hmm.
But I wanted to do it so much. Excuse me, but I wanted to do it so much. I just figured it out. I made phone call, and this back then, right when we first, around the time we first started driving. So
Hmm.
like, you know, um, the like you couldn't. It wasn't like you just jump on the phone and call somebody and ask somebody something right quick. It was, you know, it wasn't like it was today when you can FaceTime and be like, hey man, did I do it right? Or, taking the
Pull up
videos
a
or sending
YouTube
videos.
video.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. Back then it was,
You had to learn this.
yeah, like I learned how to do logs over the phone. I'm just being honest with my partner, Greg. I was on my way to Atlanta in a drive van. Um, I was running from Atlanta to Savannah and back down to Louisiana, and I sent them pictures. And this is when they used to like charge you extra money for pictures, send them through the phone and stuff like that. And he, when he looked at my logs, he was like, "Bruh, man, you did all of this wrong, dude. Like, you need to change all this. Like, you tripping, right?" And I'm
Hmm.
like, he said, "Man, you don't know how to do logs?" And I'm like, "Nah." He said, "Nobody never taught you?" I'm like, "Nah." He said, "Well, why you got on the road? You running over the road?" I said, "Man, I got to make this money." You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "Look, sit down and I'm going to show you how to, redo all your logs." So I'm like on the phone with him, right? And he teaching me how to like, he telling me what to write, telling me to do this, telling me to do that. And he like, take a picture, send it to him. Take a picture, send it to him. He like, all right, that's wrong. Change this. That's right. Keep that like that. Change that. Change. And I was sitting in the hotel in Atlanta off of 285 learning how to do logs. But I really wanted to do it. So it's the
Hmm.
same thing with the open deck versus anything else. If you really want to do it, like you gonna find a way and figure it out. But if you jumping on a flatbed or drive van, whatever it is, you're just gonna find every little thing to complain about, and you basically not gonna get it done. You know what I mean? So that's
But it all it like you because you got a video on it. This also gonna come down to first you get your driver.
hmm
That could be easy or hard, but You got to get a driver. You got to get a driver that's about this life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after you get a driver, you have to figure out operating costs versus, you got videos on this, operating costs versus cash in hand because,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm a drive van. I got a drive van company. I want to be profitable. How much does it take to cost? I mean, run your business. If it costing you more than $1.50 a mile, you're not gonna make money doing driving. If
Yeah.
you pay, unless you paying a driver dirt cheap. If you got one or two trucks, you got to change your business model. But to do that, you got to have capital because, like, you could tell them going from a dry van to a RGN, that trailer gonna cost you. I was online the other day. You got $500,000 trailers,
Yeah.
and you got to put 10-15% down. Are you really ready to
It can
jump
be
into
very
this?
hard to get into that space. You know what I'm saying? That you're
Mhm.
right about that. Like when I did buy drive vans, remember when we had bought like 4 of them, years ago? They were so cheap, right? Even then, I think I might have paid at that time. I might have like 7,500 a trailer. I think the max was like 12 grand for one because it was like a Wabash trailer. It was almost like new.
Remember that? Remember that one we got for that stack?
Yeah, 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 yeah. We really ran it about a month, and then it was 2 months, and it was trash. The
But it made its money back.
It did 10, 20 times more. But who that was? I
I
don't know
went
if
and
that
got
was
that.
Jared or
I
somebody was
went.
in that truck at the paper mill up in Franklinton,
Yeah.
and the forklift went through the floor. And I'm like, what? He was like, bruh, it went through the floor. And I sent it about Mr. Willie, I think that was his name, the welder. He was like, man, you got to redo this whole trailer. I said, man, Mr. Willie, you can have a trailer, man. I only paid $1,000 for it. You know what I mean? Like, I
Mhm.
mean, you can have it, bro. Scrap it,
I remember
use
when I
it.
went and got it.
I give you the paperwork for it, whatever. I'm not even tripping. You know what I'm
I
saying?
remember when we went and got that old trailer in
Yeah,
Dallas.
out of Dallas, huh?
Yep, out of Dallas. But
Yeah,
it made his
see.
money.
Yeah, it did. It did. It
It
did.
made his money.
Yeah, it did.
But that's why I said it all come down to like when I asked for a triax for RGN,
Yeah.
and you said you're gonna have to spend a little more time on the road
Yeah.
because this trailer costs 3 times as much as what you pulling now. So that
Yeah.
require you to put more time in. Because you as an owner, you have to make money. So if you put out more, but you're not getting back more, and it's just get harder. Now you're gonna make the money. Then you look at it. Now I'm specialty because now my trailer space getting shorter
Yeah.
and shorter. So now I might be dead heading 300-400 miles. As owners got to think: am I able to afford this? If you don't know the whole game and you jump into something head first, you might bust your head open.
Yeah.
Before you jump into it, you got to do a market analysis, and then you have to see: do I have a driver that's capable? That's why I say come back to the driver. Cause okay, you go get this trailer. Do you have a driver that can pull a 16 wide load that's gonna pay for this whole month of running? Cause if he can't, then now you got a driver and a trailer that don't match.
Yeah. The let me see, I'm trying to see if I can look up one of those trailers right now.
I'm gonna tell y'all a story. My first time doing open deck was in 2016. I just met Marco. I was I had then got off the road, was working on doing swimming pools, making good money. But I had that itch. When you're a driver, you get that itch.
Yeah.
Or if your money get funny, you get that itch to take out. So he had an ad on Craigslist, and I look, I responded, and he had the old Mac. I remember old Mac, and it had the Super 10. You had to split every time you shift. We went on a test drive. I'm like, yeah, I could do this, and I wanted to do flatbed. And he sent me to Axis, Alabama. And this is how you find out whether your driver gonna do this or quit on you. Axis, Alabama, where these calls get picked up, they have a thermometer when you
Yeah.
strapping this load down. And it was the middle of the summer,
That's in
and it said
what that was that again? That's over there in
Axis, Alabama,
oh,
and
that's
Calvert.
Calvert. Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah,
Calvert.
yeah, yeah.
Man, that thing said 118 degrees And this Russian see me and he like, you need water? You need help? Leave me
Yeah.
alone. But it showed me because I wouldn't give up. Like this is where I need to be. I was motivated. I and ever since then, since I've been into the flatbed, you cannot put me back into something else. I have to have an open deck. Now I'm doing equipment. He always
Yeah.
talk about the step deck, but if I do the step decks, I want a third axle with some ramps so I can do
Yeah.
equipment still.
Man, I've been seeing them boys. Look, I was on my way back from running that little short load, and I seen two dudes within 15 minutes. One at the truck stop and one when I was hitting the road. And they both had 3-axle with ramps. You know, the ramp kit, not just ramps. Like they had the
Mm-hmm.
whole ramp kit, 53-foot step deck ramp kit with 3 axles. And I'm looking at them, not, I'm pulling RG in. I'm like, boy, I know they making that paper. Just to get them specialty loads and they can get that extra weight. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But yeah, so I mean, the drive vans was good for me. It was cool. It's a totally different ball game to me. I mean, they got from driving it to cash flowing, how much money you making with it. How much the equipment costs.
Mm-hmm.
What type of loads, you really dealing with as far as how much the loads cost. Like for example with us, you already know with us, a lot of what we run into is what? Oh, you need two, three, four, $500,000 in cargo. Well, you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about that with with driving. I mean, you might
Uh,
sometimes, maybe with reefer. I've never really ran into that with reefer or driving.
yeah,
The only
because
time,
reefers have a lot of loss.
yeah, the only time I really had to worry about getting an insurance rider or going up on the insurance for those of you that don't know, if they ever require a broker ever require the insurance to be more than the standard. The standard is 100,000 cargo insurance, but sometimes they require 200, 300, 400, half a million, sometimes a million. It just depends on what you about to put in the back or on the back of your trailer. But you
Mm-hmm.
can get a rider, right? And we use these people. I forgot the name of it, but it's pretty simple. We used to have to call in and get it, and it just kind of takes a long time, in my opinion. If it takes an hour, that's a long time because you gotta like move loads. But uh, now you can just go online, enter the information, and that's it. Just pay for it. Depend on how much more you need. They'll just tell you $100, $200, $300, 500. Just depends or whatever, and they'll just give it to you. But depending on that cargo, that's why they be wanting that extra insurance. You know what I mean? Like a lot of those big time machines, they want that extra money. Especially what we was talking about the other day, that load that needed to be bonded and all of that type of stuff or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they was gonna need some more, extra or whatever. But I mean, I when it was a time, I tell you what, if I was to categorize trailers in order for me, in my opinion, it would be open deck, then reefer. Actually, I didn't put this on the list, but it would actually be open deck, tanker, reefer, then dry van for me, right?
Right.
Um, the open deck, you have, so number one, everybody doesn't want to do it.
Right.
They don't want to get outside in the elements. I had a friend, I got a partner, right? I'm not even gonna say his name, but I was working out earlier today. I'm working out, and we work out buddies. That's what we do, right? We've been knowing each other, since we was kids. That's my dude. But at the same time, we do work out together as well. Like that's our thing. So, we contacting each other. I'm telling him, hey man, get that summer body right, whatever, whatever. And he was like, man, I'm getting beach ready. I said, look, because I was outside working out. I said, man, come out, come holler at me, come work out with me, come work out outside. And he was like, man, F that. And he a dog with the workout now. Like he's swole. He big. He big old dude. He a beast, right?
Mm-hmm.
See when I hit him with that, man, come outside with me and work out. He was like, what? I'm good. He said, man, I hate getting out in that heat. I don't want to do it. So I'm saying, I brought that up to say that's the same way with trucking.
Yeah.
Man, listen. Nothing against my dry van people, but they want to put on these shorts with their flip flops and go everywhere. They ain't just putting them on when you get on the big road. No, they won't wear the shorts with the flip flops and they and
And they
running in
white
the
beater.
shipper. Yeah, in the white beater. In the shipper with the paperwork. They come out. Look, they opening up the doors with it. They unloading with it. They all in the warehouse with the slippers, man.
And if you, and
Huh?
guess what? They Netflix account, they done watched everything on Netflix.
You heard me? Look, the whole day. So, and you want to tell one of them, oh, come do some open deck? Nah, they not trying to get down with that, cause
Nah,
that's
but they
nah,
not. And don't let it fool y'all. This is just what we experience.
yeah,
He has more experience than me when it comes to certain things because a dry van and a reefer can make more than an open deck if that driver is hazmat, twick, clean background. Now he's in a niche. He's in the first off clean background. Once you find one of them, keep them.
yeah,
Second, when he get the twick and the hazmat, and you got hazmat insurance, now that dry van can haul loads that nobody else can haul, and then it's making you won't see it. It don't them loads won't hit a certain type of board.
yeah,
Now, like I just seen I was watching YouTube where a video was showing bad places for trucks, and they showed a truck getting jacked because it had 45,000 pounds of dimes.
yeah,
That load ain't hitting the board. That's a government load. That truck was getting paid. So just because you not in our we just demand a certain amount, the minimum. If you have certain requirements, a dry van could get up there with us. If you get a government contract, you up there with us. You let me tell you, what one of them hurricanes we dealt with a emergency where we was on that FEMA run for like 2-3 months, and they was giving you first off free fuel. Second off, all you had to do every now and then was run a load from Hammond to the army base to get a thing of water. You might sit 3-4 days
yeah,
in your truck. $1,700 to $2,500 a day. Dry vans was killing. Well, they was really power on this.
yeah,
But that's the exception when that's people who didn't put the work in, went found the customer. That's when the owners become different. Like my boss always find a way. He find a way to find customers that don't exist.
yeah.
And we make good money. We gonna cry for 8 hours about the loads not there. Then all of a sudden, man, we stunk now.
And
No, we both was just nervous.
yeah, and sometimes we don't make money, in the
Sometimes we
sense
don't.
of I'm gonna say not as much as we would like
Not the
to.
goal.
Yeah,
Not the
listen,
goal.
I'll say that. I'll say that, cause we make money for the most part. We make money for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
And
You know,
sometimes you gotta work.
yeah,
I mean, sometimes you just gotta get out that truck and put some work in. And them drive-in trucks, when they open them doors, they done.
yeah,
That's why I
yeah,
like when Walmart tell them get out your truck and stay out your truck and leave the truck off. Now you gotta
yeah,
come sit in the driver's lounge.
yeah. And then like the reason why I like dry open deck over dry van or reefer is because a lot to do with like wait time. Number one, no, let me just start with this. Number one, the money is just better. The money is just better. Um, you got way better wait times. Typically you pulling up, you picking up, you delivering. Especially what we do, specialized freight. 50% of your loads or our loads, we pick them up and drop them off how we want to. Like, hey, leave the key, leave the machine, I'll pick it up later. Stuff like that. So a lot of times you're not this whole, oh, you got an appointment, you got to be at this time, or you got to be at this time, and if you don't make it by that time, that's it.
Mm.
typically they be needing this stuff, so they,
Man, we pretty much got bankers hours in the open deck market.
yeah,
But if you late, they'll leave a machine out with a key in it and the paperwork for you. Like load yourself.
yeah, yeah,
But you do get them time where we got crane appointments and we have to sit down and wait while they breaking down a crane for 80 trucks to be a part of,
right, right, right,
Depends on which parts you haul. And like the other day I was hauling a track. Well, I had to be one of the last ones because this part of the last part come off the machine.
right,
But I made good money too to haul that track.
right, right.
So it all depends. It's like I say, you just gotta sit down and know your costs. A lot of people don't know the cost of they doing business. And if your cost is $3, I hope it ain't that high, but
They
if it
going
costs
out
you
of
$3 a mile to
business.
run your
They
business,
going out of
if it
business.
costs you $3 a mile, then you need to reevaluate. Like this girl said, all y'all got in here started trucking during COVID prices,
Yeah,
and we were making a bankroll. Now that the market is showing its true color, all y'all talking about don't get in the game. No, you got in the game and had the wrong expectations. Now we're back to the reality of what we was doing already.
yeah,
Ready. So now, like you say, that $100,000 truck you bought, now you see it's really a $30,000 truck,
yeah.
and you stuck
Or
with
you
it.
bought the wrong
Or you,
truck to go into the wrong uh market. Like you bought $100,000 truck to go run dry van. To go run dry van. You bought $100,000 truck to go run dry van because at the height of the pandemic, Amazon and everybody else was killing it. So
mm-hmm.
now, ooh, now they was making, let's just say $3-4 a mile easy.
Yeah,
Now
because Amazon was giving out $5
they
a mile.
struggling to make 175 a mile in a dry van. And
They'll hang up in your face if you ask for any
man,
more
and
than
you
that.
got this note, your truck note. I'm gonna just take a guess. Your truck note on 100 G's with decent credit in the trucking industry. If you didn't go through like Navy Fed, anybody like that to get it, and you ain't got an actual commercial truck loan, you paying 2,500 or better, 2,500 to 3,500 easy a month with on 100 G, like easy. So, and then your trailer, your drive van, if you bought $100,000 truck, you probably went and bought your $50,000-$60,000 drive van. You probably at from 3 to 4 grand a month in expenses without insurance. But let's just say, let excuse me, let's just say you had 4 grand, 4 to 5 grand all together, all in monthly
Mm.
insurance, truck note, you know, trailer note, everything. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say you all in with that, man. At them rates, it's hard to make a living. But if you bought $100,000 truck and you jumped in the heavy haul, well, it ain't nothing. That ain't
Ain't
nothing.
nothing.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing. You know,
Pretty much what you're gonna need sometime to pull some of these
yeah.
loads.
So they ain't really hitting on nothing. They ain't really nothing to even worry about.
You don't go get an 18 speed truck to go pull a 44,000 pound load on an everyday basis.
Yeah. So
You don't need it.
yeah. So
They also do it based off some of y'all went and bought cat motors and didn't realize the overhaul on a cat motor is, to me, my personal
yeah.
opinion, overpriced at $25,000-$30,000
Mm-hmm.
when you could go buy a truck for that amount.
Yeah.
It depends. Like I say, it depends on what you're doing. We pulling heavy, so we don't want no max force engine.
Shoot,
We
we was
do need.
pulling light. We don't want that. That's garbage. I don't even know if they still make them, but horrible garbage, horrible and garbage. We'll stick to our Cummins, Detroits, and old school
That's why I say,
cats.
like I say, it's a
Old
complex
school
question
cats.
to answer on what do you want to, what's the best trailer to pull. It all depends on what you're trying to accomplish. What we trying to accomplish, we got a model. He got a goal he set up, and that goal line up with my goals. So we in our lane. Now, when you're in your lane, it's kind of hard because sometimes you need to step out your lane and do something a little different to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that sometimes I'm at that point because I like this RGM, but maybe sometimes step decks. Like if you watch the market, like he watched the market, I get up in the morning and I look at the ratios, and step decks winning right now. Step deck, not just any step. You got to have a low profile with ramps or something, but they winning because they can do a little bit of heavy hauling when they got that
Right, right,
third
right.
axle, and they low enough to like you starting to see PNS and all them putting forklifts and stuff on them. So certain like the army putting stuff on them. So they making more money, but they're also putting in more miles than what. Let's just say at 1,500 miles, I still do good. At 1,500 miles in a drive van, they not doing as well.
Yeah.
So that's what it all comes down to. I get money is the side effect because I love what I'm doing, but I do have a family that don't care about me loving trucks. Daddy, I got a date. Babe, bill need paid. Dogs need food. So for me, money is part of it, but I do this shit.
Yeah.
Stuff because I love it. I love it.
Money's the byproduct. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
and that motivation, that's the only thing gonna pull you through when the hard times come. Like when it's hard times in this game, especially in this game, because this game is brutal. It is so brutal. Oh my god, trucking will it could if you lit it. The trucking industry, being in the trucking business and having trucks and just doing trucking, it don't matter if you're a driver, if you're an owner, if you're an owner operator, meaning you're a driver and owner. It don't matter what where you at on with it. It can destroy your life, if you allow it to. If you're an owner, it can take all your money, right? To
Hmm.
where you can't pay your bills. Been there. Let's just say you're just a driver and well, I don't pay for anything. Okay, cool. Now you going from home all the time. You know what I'm
All the
saying?
time.
And you going from home and how your kids gonna deal with that? How your wife gonna deal with that? How you gonna deal with that? You know what I'm saying? Being a driver, being on the road, always gone and isolated in this truck the way that you are. So it's like, um, first thing when people they come to me and they ask me, they say they want to get into trucking. I always hit their mind first. Like I don't want, cause they always want to talk about the money, the money, the money, the money, the money, the money. And I'm like, look, chill with all that. You're gonna make money if you do it the right way. But let's talk about, can you? First of all, are you willing to be the person that it takes to just be a truck driver? Truck drivers are not regular people. That's why truck drivers talk crazy. They might dress a little crazy. They might actually be a little crazy. Real talk. But
Ain't
they
no
did.
might about it.
You did.
You gotta have a
Look,
little. You
we
gotta be
yeah,
something to
we
do
might be
this.
a little, a little retarded. Like my wife, she always tell me, "Is this just a truck driver thing?" I said, "What's up? What you mean? Y'all just like y'all can talk, like y'all can like talk a lot." And I said, "Well, I guess you know what I'm saying. We kind of be locked up. You know what I'm
We
saying?
be alone.
Yeah,
We be
you
alone.
dig? So
While we go to trucking at the truck
yeah,
stop,
you know,
you get lost track of time.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. And first couple times coming with me, she kind of was like, "Okay, this how cause she won't take that bath and go hit them bathrooms like she at home." And I'm like, "Look, I gotta get to the ship and the receiver. I got some wipes back
Mm-hmm.
there. You might have to thug it out to tomorrow or the day after that." You know what I'm
I done took
saying?
a few baths like that.
You did. So
You gotta get that dry wipe out
yeah.
and
So
get the
like,
wiping. Look, you better focus on the good
yeah.
parts.
So actually, I tell you what, that's what we gonna chop it up about next week. The truck driver's mindset. Get to know the truck driver, and we'll tell we got a lot of stories we can tell. A lot.
We got a
A
lot.
lot.
We got a lot.
Yeah, so we gonna do that. I'm gonna
Just
save
with us
that to
being
next week.
small, the personalities we done dealt with.
Ooh, man, just
We I'm gonna
Yeah,
just say within 5 drivers, you have a lifetime of stories you can tell.
yeah, yeah. So
I mean, and I was there.
yeah,
I mean, when we talk about it, y'all gonna know, but just know to be a great driver, you have to it's gonna take a hit on your mental
oh
health.
yeah, oh yeah. If
It's
you
gonna all your greats. I'm telling you, if you can find a truck driver that's great, he making 6 figures plus a year. Talk to him. He got some deep pain inside too.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, they had a guy on YouTube yesterday say, "Man, when I was making 30, 40,000 home every weekend, I had a great family." So then I started making 67,000, and my wife was still loving me, but my kids was like, "Dad, we miss you."
yeah.
He said, "When I made $100,000, I became a single man, but my family was good."
Damn. Yeah, that's wild though. That's wild. I tell you what, we'll yeah, we'll talk about that next week, man. We'll talk about the get to know the drive. I don't know, I come up with a title or whatever like that, but
That's true. That's the best. That's why a lot of these recruiters now do drive evaluations through tests
yeah,
just to see where they at.
yeah,
Because every every driver ain't a good fit for your company.
yeah.
You have sometimes the money is good and you want that truck moving, but you might not
And it's
need
not
that driver.
and it's not good for them. Like I got a friend, he tried over the road, he just couldn't do it. He just couldn't his mind he just couldn't and he young. He 22. 23, I think, or something, and he don't have no family, no wife, no kids. And
Oh, in my
I'm like,
mind, he the perfect
what's
driver.
wrong? I'm like, man, go out there, go get that money, man, go see the world, go have some fun, travel. You know, I said, man, if I was 22 with no kids, no wife, no nothing, man, this
I'd be
weekend I'm in
slamming.
Miami, the next weekend I'm in Cali, the next weekend I'm in Dallas, the next I'm in Houston, then I'm in the A, then then I'm jumping on a
I'm about to
plane,
tell
I'm
you.
flying somewhere else. Like man, I'm a what? Man, I'm a cut up. I'll cut
Man,
up.
that's the best driver who has no ties.
You never
Man, go
gotta
get
go
your money.
home. I said, man, look, I
You
wouldn't
don't,
even have nowhere to live. I'll be living in my truck,
your 34
making my
hour
money,
reset is your
traveling.
a 34-hour reset is your vacation day. What we doing my
Yeah,
34 in Pennsylvania? Okay, I got you.
yeah,
Stop me in Pittsburgh or Philly. I'm going Hershey's Park. Like, but it ain't for
yeah,
everybody. Some people just
yeah,
they mind. But
yeah,
that's why I say it all comes down. First, you got to know. I say when you go to pick your equipment, know your driver, know what you're capable of, and know and have in mind some kind of goal of what you're trying to do. If you're trying to become swift, then dry vans can be your thing.
yeah,
But if you're trying to be a specialty and if you pay attention to when it comes to heavy hauls, most of these companies focus on 5 to 10 trucks. They don't try to get no big ass because them 5 10 trucks could make them super rich. All them 5 10 trucks can make them have to sell everything they own down to the dog.
yeah, yeah.
So you just got to know your lane and know your goals.
Yeah, man. I'm in my lane. I'm going to stick with it. So until next time, we'll be back here next Sunday, I believe, either 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock. We'll let y'all know. But until next time,
Central time,
Central Time.
1 o'clock
We down
Central time.
south, baby. We down here and then no, you heard me? So we Central.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll holler at y'all. Till next time, peace. See y'all later.
Peace.